Well, that's a good question. I suppose when foreign executives are sent to Korea as, let's say, a country manager, one mistake you can easily make is to expect that things in Korea will work exactly like they did back home. And that's absolutely not the case. So I guess one of the key things executives or people who are supposed to lead teams here in Korea have to do is they have to understand things will be different, things will work different, there's different work cultures, different work styles. For example, in Korea, hierarchy is, for example, a bit of a different or more important than it perhaps is in Germany. So understanding where the team members that you're supposed to lead are coming from is key, I guess. You have to define a common understanding, a common language, a common work culture style that everyone can refer to. And so I think that is certainly one of the key things leaders or country managers or expats who come to Korea or to come to any country basically have to understand. Things will be different. Some things will probably be easier and some things might be more difficult. Not everything will make sense, but I guess it's key to keep an open mind, to try to understand the dynamics. Yeah? Also, when in many companies they say, okay, well, we have an international team, so working language is English. If you do that, and that usually makes sense, you have to understand that language or English is probably not everyone's mother tongue. So there will be situations where you have misunderstandings or miscommunication because they are pretty much unavoidable. So you have to prepare a bit for that. Communication, I guess, is key. And for example, if you are coming to Korea as a new country manager, if you sort of helicoptered into the country, of course, you can't know everything at once. And I guess a good option then could be, for example, to work with HR professionals such as RDI International, or you can reach out to us to get training, to get coaches, to get a bit more sort of a training or understanding of, okay, how are things different? How should I adapt to that? Or what do I have to be aware of? So I think that can also help creating cultural awareness, that can help get a better feeling and understanding of how things work and how are they different. It doesn't mean that when a foreign executive comes into Korea and things are done a Korean way, he has to accept everything and say, okay, we will do things the Korean way. No, I didn't mean that. It's basically just has to be, I guess we do it our way. I guess that should be the common understanding, and that should be like the directive that foreign executives should aim for. And at the end of the day, sure, cultural awareness is key, but at the end of the day, it's people skills that matter, right? I mean, you have to understand, get to know your team members, get to understand their personality, where they're coming from, what are their strengths, what are their weaknesses, because if you don't understand that, it will become quite difficult to manage that team effectively. So yeah, I guess that would be, in summary, what I would advise. Don't expect that things will be exactly the same like back home. Things will be different, and have a plan or understanding or open mind at least to how to address these different matters in order to make things work out. Yeah. Well, I guess it's different for everyone. In my case, it does help if you connect with people. I mean, first of all, you have to have an open mind, right? As I mentioned before, you have to understand things will be different, and not everything will make sense to you, and that's okay. And but if you keep an open mind, and if you try to acknowledge that, okay, things are different, some things, yeah, I like them better than things are back home. You certainly reflect also how things are done in your home country, actually. So there are certain things that, yeah, that you have to try to understand, keep an open mind to it. And it does help if you can connect with some people who can explain it to you, or can, help you guide through I would say this first landing phase of you coming to a foreign country. And of course, the language is different. So as a foreign expat, you have usually a full-time job, so it would be very difficult to learn the local language fluently. But I guess the least thing you could try is to understand a few basics. And it actually helps me also to break the ice if I, can greet or say hello or do a few phrases in Korean to a Korean associate or a person that I just met. That also shows a bit of appreciation and an interest in the other person's language and culture. So that helps sometimes to break the ice, and then of course, try to communicate as much as possible. I guess try to understand what are the do's and don'ts. Of course, as a foreigner, it's not expected that you know all the rules, but if you do know a few things, then you can already gain a couple of, I would say, sympathy points. If you do a few things right, then that helps certainly. But of course, you will also do things wrong, and that's okay. So yeah, I guess that would be my personal advice. I mean, I was lucky that I always had great people around me who could help me to try to make better sense of Korea. Well, there are too many delicious things, I guess. Oh, that's probably one of the things that I forgot to mention in order to feel comfortable in Korea. Liking the food is, of course, a great advantage, right? So, of course, cities like Seoul are global cities. You can get food from all around the world. So at least you won't starve, even if you don't like Korean food as much. But if you do, or if you at least are interested in trying out new types of food, that's great. And for me, unfortunately, I like food too much, perhaps. But yeah, there are certain foods in Korea that are certainly great. Chimek, chicken and mekju, so chicken and beer, is certainly a great invention. And in general, what I like about the Korean food is you have a term for drinking food, which is called anju. So there are these certain small dishes that you can have with good beer or other beverages that are always nice and also helps to socialize with people. And over that anju and over chimek or whatsoever, I guess it helps you to get a better understanding, communicate and interact with people as well here.